Well, I think we can get started. Uh, Today is April 3rd. I want to go ahead and thank everyone for showing up today. Welcome to our 10th recurring Platform and Treasury Council meeting. And we're going to continue the journey of transparency, governance, community engagement for the entire Telcoin ecosystem. So today's agenda is going to cover a lot of updates, specifically focused mostly on the liquid delegation that's coming up, recent platform developments, and we have another TIP proposal on the forum that we can dive deeper into. So before we get started, I do want to remind everybody about the purpose of these meetings. They're regularly held so that they could be a heartbeat for our governance system. Right? There's a lot of essential functions happening. We're trying to create a transparent window into council operations for the community. We want to provide structured forums for discussing and refining these proposals. We're offering proposers a platform to present ideas directly to council members to improve the platform system and have a voice. We want to enable these community members to witness and discuss and help shape these proposals. We want to deliver consistent platform updates to keep everybody informed and maintain open lines of communication between these council members. So I think facilitating direct community engagement through Q&A sessions at the end has been really productive and helpful on both sides of the conversation. So, the platform and treasury councils, we represent the global governance layer for both Telcoin platform and the association. So working together, these two councils oversee the platform-wide systems, and that shapes the association's social policies and stewards the TEL Treasury. And with care, and obviously, we need to have the foresight to anticipate any sort of problems. So, with that governance system, it is self-organized and is determined by the four minor groups and their elected councils within the association, whose two primary duties are to provision TEL, which would be like planning and financing platform infrastructure, construction and maintenance, improving communication, providing information, and delivering other collective goods that are essential to the platform. There's also the responsibility of TEL allocation, which is regulating that TEL sustainably within the platform for those four minor groups to harvest based on their production and according to the rules that are established by their respective councils, like the TELX Council, the TAN Council, so forth. So our council commitments, as your elected representatives, we embrace several key responsibilities. That is to thoughtfully review and vote on these snapshot proposals. We need to maintain consistent attendance at council meetings or communicate at the very least. We need to provide transparent, regular updates to the community. We vigilantly monitor these platform systems when we uphold and enforce the operational framework. And as we explored new candidates to join these councils, we expect the same from you. So from a last meeting recap here, we talked a lot about the liquid delegation, sort of the reason why we had to do that. And we had a brief exchange listings, and then we had quite a lively discussion back and forth with questions from the community. So with that out of the way, I would like to dive straight into our liquid delegation process. So we have two seats available, and that is to apply for the Global Platform Council. One seat is for liquidity miners. Liquidity miners provide liquidity to TELX. They fund liquidity all across the Polygon and other chains, so far base, and with a lot of other cross-chain compatibility planned for the future. We also have a seat for stakers. That would be stakers would be involved in any sort of users, the TAN, the Telcoin application network. And those developers offer staking opportunities to their users. So anyone who has staked through the app would be considered a staker. Anyone who has provided liquidity to a TELX pool would be considered a liquidity miner. So we're holding these liquid delegation ceremony for a second time. The first one ran from March 7th to March 15th. However, neither seat reached a 20% quorum. So as discussed on the previous meeting, we are having that election again with past 2 weeks with a lot of community outreach and educational resources. We've had evaluated the staking process for in-app. We're confident that everything is looking good. We're good to go. So the vote will start tomorrow at 4 p.m. and that's Central Daylight Savings Time. And the election will run for 7 days. So that is on Snapshot. And the voting power is locked at the start of the voting period. So if you are a staker, you need to delegate your vote before the election starts. And the snapshot takes a literal snapshot of the blockchain of block height, and any delegation up to that point is valid. Anything after that snapshot, it's too late to participate in this election. So those, so that's very important to get that done. If you have any questions, please reach out on Discord. We have a lot of people here to help. So for those stakers, if you are staking right now, the only TAN developer is the Telcoin wallet. And they support delegating through the app. Once you delegate in the app, you do not have to delegate again. But if you do try to delegate again, and it's the same address that was previously delegated, the app won't prompt you for a second signature. So if you have any doubts, if you're getting, just unexpected behavior, or you're not sure, I recommend that you try delegating to a second address. You can always delegate back and forth between two addresses. But again, once you've delegated, and that could be all the way back to TGIP1, the original vote, you are delegated, you're good to go. So with those, so that's for stakers. All liquidity providers, you're automatically eligible to vote. So the address that you use, the wallet that you use to stake TEL, you can also vote for the liquidity seat on the platform council using that same wallet. And again, we need quorum. So the 20% quorum is required for this election to be valid. Last time we were a little bit short on these numbers, but we have just pulled the latest data from the blockchain. So I will go ahead and share that with you all. So for stakers, we have a total of 3 billion TEL staked, a little bit more than 3 billion TEL staked. So far, roughly 1 billion of those are delegated to vote. Now, last time we only had 276 TEL actually participate in that vote, which fell much shorter of the 20% quorum. It was about 14%. So, excuse me. So currently, right now, we have 3.1 TEL staked, 3.1 billion TEL staked, and we have 1.396 billion TEL delegated. With those numbers, we need at least a 44.4% voter turnout to meet quorum. And again, that's going to be, we need 20% of the 1.4 billion TEL that's delegated. We need 20% of the 3.1 billion TEL that's staked to participate in this vote. So stakers, please be sure to delegate before that snapshot is taken tomorrow at 4 p.m. Central Daylight Savings Time. For liquidity miners, there's currently about a little over 5.167 million dollars worth of Telcoin, is equivalent to 1.1 billion Telcoin in all liquidity pools. So with that number staked, with the 1.1 billion TEL in those liquidity pools, we need many more than the 44 million TEL that was used in last vote. So out of that, liquidity providers, you do not have any extra steps to take. You just need to go to the snapshot with that same address, and you'll be able to participate in the election. So we'll need about 200 million TEL in the liquidity providers election to reach quorum. So now there's also the final note. I do want to share that we have a lot of resources for this. There's a lot of posts, and we also have, for any particular questions, please reach out on Discord. But we also have guides on the forum. And so I think if I could get your help posting those, we'll get those into the chat here shortly. But there's liquidity miners and stakers, and then there's a general guide as well for delegating and understanding the eligibility for the vote. So I think at this time, I would love to answer any questions from the audience or council members regarding the election and the liquid delegation. Alrighty. Well, again, if anything else comes up, please don't hesitate to reach out. We want the quorum. We want to be able to help answer clarifying questions. So With that, let's go ahead and move on to the next agenda item for today. So I think, Adam, if you wouldn't mind, I think we'll go ahead and pass it on to you.
Yeah, perfect. So first of all, good luck to all the applicants. Yeah, I look forward to whoever does win, and I'm looking forward to seeing your expertise that you bring to the table. Again, I've said it before. Please make sure you understand this role. You will need a bit of thick skin. You will both get praise, and depending on the community, there will be skepticism. Yeah, so results-driven mindset is essentially what is essential. So the whole point is just proving any doubters wrong. Go above and beyond. So just to jump into the application, so we're going to introduce the different candidates. You're going to have time to speak there. So if we start off with liquidity, I can't get my words out today. The liquidity miner candidates. Mitch, you spoke first. Are you happy to come up? So Mitch, you'll know him as Crypto Mitch, or Mitch Builds Tech. So Mitch has applied on the forum. We'll post his link in there now. Sorry, I cannot multitask. So that's just been posted into the chat. Mitch, if you'd like to raise your hand, we can bring you up so you can have your time to speak.
Good morning. Can you hear me? Hello?
Can hear you fine, buddy.
Yep.
Great. Hey everyone. It's Mitch here. It's 4 a.m. on the 4th of the 4th here in Perth, Western Australia. Great to be here. I'm super excited to be a candidate on the liquidity miner seat. Thank you guys for the support on social media. As you know, I've been super active in the TEL community since about February 2021. Trying to focus on sharing educational and motivational content that helps us kind of understand the different parts of the ecosystem. So I love being here and helping with the growth. You probably see right now that I'm really focused on building my personal brand, which I'm very confident will really help TEL in general. As I grow, I'll keep advocating as I have been. I really think personal branding is a huge tool for all of us, particularly with AI coming and shaping the world the way it is. So I think it aligns well with Telcoin's mission to empower people, especially with DeFi and financial inclusion. So the recent event, the Black Swan Summit that I went to and Stand with Crypto was a really good opportunity to share TEL, scan the QR code for the referral link and engage with people like Rajesh and Ricardo who were there. That was awesome to see. And yeah, I think if elected on the liquidity seat, what I really want to bring is obviously being in these meetings, voting on proposals, sharing the community's interest. I've got a bit of a spreadsheet going of feedback from the community, and just helping refine and advance the platform's goals. I have mentioned in the past that I'm really keen to see Rob Janoff, the creator of the Apple logo, be more involved in the branding. So I'm communicating with him and his CEO, and trying to see if we can bring some more branding from the Apple side of things. I think even if I don't get elected in the council, I'll continue creating educational content, breaking down complex ideas like I did with the liquidity mining thread that I did the other day. And yeah, just going to conferences, networking, spreading the word, building bridges. So yeah, last thing I want to say is I see this as a great opportunity to share my skills, energy, and advocacy. I'm here to listen to everybody and help us all succeed. And yeah, it would be an honour to be on the council, but if not, I'm super supportive of Dwight and the others who are going. And yeah, let's just keep moving things forward. Thank you, everybody.
Amazing. Thank you so much, Mitch. That's really well said. So I really do appreciate it. Okay, perfect. So you've already introduced, so with Dwight there. So if we bring Dwight in, so Dwight, you'll know him as Dwight1117. If you've been listening to the council meetings before, you know Dwight is from Make It, which is one of our market makers. So Dwight, would you be able to come up and say hi?
Yes. Hey guys, good afternoon, good morning, good evening, wherever you are.
Excuse me, guys. When I'm sounding a little bit, I'm really tired. I worked a lot the past few days. So yeah, I'm Dwight. I'm, despite my name, I'm born and raised in Germany, currently living in Germany. And as Squirtle stated, I'm part of the Make It team. We are working with Telcoin since, I think, June of last year. So I'm in the market making business since 2021. So I'm working there as a business development manager and supporting our customers and working together with our devs and so having contacts with exchanges worldwide with our customers. Basically working 24/7. So people who know me know that I mostly answer pretty fast and pretty straightforward. Yeah, I'm excited to go into the vote. I think we have really good candidates. Mitch, who just spoke, we exchanged some words in the past few days and weeks. Great guy. And if you haven't checked out his content where he was the past days and weeks, go check it out. So yeah, I'm excited. I think in the past few weeks, I tried to engage a little bit more in social media, especially on X with the community. And what I saw is definitely that we always need to have an open ear to the community. So there are a lot of different views, there are a lot of different people, and it's important to listen to everyone. Obviously, we can't change everything which everyone wants, but it's important to get everyone involved to hear their perspective. And I think that's what makes Telcoin great and the community great. I think Telcoin has a great community with so many people and so many insights and views from the crypto community, and I think we can participate correctly from it. I think we are on the right track as a community, but there's still a way to go, and I think we need everyone on board to do this. And yeah, I mean, if you decide to vote for me, I can just say I'm a pretty open, transparent, and outspoken person. You can approach me whenever you like, however you like, speak about everything. I try to represent the community as best as I can. Yeah, thank you, guys. If you have questions after the meeting, feel free to contact me however you like.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Dwight. Again, really appreciate it. And I fully understand crypto never sleeps. So it's all hours. Yeah, the hazards of crypto, but the passion, you got to love it. So unless we have any other members in here, I'm having a look at the chat and the audience at the moment. I believe that's everyone from the liquidity mining candidates. So if so, we'll move straight on to the staker. So I'll give it a second in case anyone raises their hand. No? Okay, so next I'd like to introduce Arie. So everyone in the TEL fam knows Arie. You'll see him everywhere. I'll post his link to the forum, to the chat as well. Arie, if you're about, could you jump up on the stage? So Arie, straight away for Discord, Arie Jones, or AJ, as he's known as. So yeah, would you like to hop on and say your piece? Okay, so Arie did say that he wasn't sure for the Discord, so it's a learning aspect. So Arie, if you press the raise hand, it's a hand with 3 lines on it, and then we can bring you up onto the stage. And perfect. And you're currently...
I've finally got it now.
Amazing.
Okay, so everybody probably knows me, Programmer's Edge, on X, but my name is Arie Jones. Everybody calls me AJ. I basically run 3 companies now, mainly in complex systems and payment systems. So we do work with any number of large fintech businesses, healthcare, Lincoln Financials, pharmaceuticals, stuff like that. I'm really running for the council to try to help start better dev relations. I think that you know we're at kind of like a crossroads here where people need to try to look less at Telcoin Holdings, the company, and focus more on the TAO and specifically the network, because I think that the network is the piece that's going to kind of take us to where we need to go. And I believe that a key aspect of that is to have a vibrant developer community with it. I've seen way too many, platforms along the way that, have kind of died on the vine from uh, not being able to, grab the interest of developers. And I think right now, like we're at now, as opposed to like when I first got into crypto in 2011, I think that we're looking at a phase where we have the really kind of senior professional developers, even from the .NET ecosystem, going and starting to jump ship and kind of, dive into this blockchain thing. From my standpoint, I think that, it's an advised consent type of thing where, we're trying to, not force, but guide the network to where we think that it needs to be. And I know that we have a lot of different ideas on how to get it there. And so I'm always open, and I am ready to accept everyone's feedback and criticism, and to try to tell us where to go. And my job will be to try to figure out from kind of like the staker's point of view what that kind of looks like as far as how to get us there.
Yeah, perfect. That was extremely well said again. So thank you so much. And I completely agree with you. This is the point where it is a differentiation from Telcoin Holdings and the Telcoin Association, and we are looking to evolve kind of the whole association, the platform, and see the network and everything grow. So for the whole ecosystem. So I do completely agree with that. So thank you so much, Arie.
Thank you.
So next on the staker candidates, we have Ryan. So Ryan Nunia, as known on Discord. So you'll know him through not only the Telcoin events, but on YouTube, as he constantly interacts, whether it's TikTok as well. But Ryan, would you like to raise your hand and come up and say your piece on stage?
Hi, excuse me. Hi guys, thanks for the introduction, Adam. It's about 5:30 here in Tokyo, so maybe a little sleepy, but thanks again. And first, I want to say I'm grateful to hear from everyone today, all the potential candidates. I think whoever wins these upcoming elections, the association will be in good hands, and I just think the communication between all of us is really awesome. And so regarding my candidacy, I'll repeat. I put out a video last night, my time, on X, and I'll repeat a bit what I said there in terms of if I were elected, what my primary objectives and goals would be in representing stakers and driving the ecosystem and the and driving awareness about Telcoin. So it's really exciting. Now we have the Telcoin network, the code freeze coming up, and I think that awareness is really key, and using not just new users, but spreading awareness among mobile network operators who will become validators on Telcoin network. Telecoms have always been, since the inception of Telcoin Holdings and now with Telcoin Association, the partnership with mobile network operators and telecoms has always been a key part of the vision, and I think a crucial part of reaching them is through visibility. And whether or not we love centralized exchanges is up for debate. But I think the fact is that being on there and having the gas fee, the gas token of Telcoin Network on there will increase visibility, and I want to assist with that and assist with everything you're doing on that front, Adam. And then additionally, with the content, the educational content creation, I think that's also super important, and spreading awareness and education, because I think for those outside this kind of core group of people who are tuning into Discord and following on social media every day, I think a lot of people are maybe confused about the setup as a whole, or what does the association do, what are these different groups on there, stakers versus liquidity miners and such. And I think in order to garner more participation, I think educational content explaining what the different groups are, what they do, how people can participate and interact, I think that would help drive user growth and participation in the association. And like I said on my video, I think people have short attention spans today. I think putting those into bite-sized pieces and informative videos, things like that, would be useful. And as I've done on the Telcoin side of things, I've appeared and got behind the camera like that. I'm super willing to do that for the association, put my face out there and explain what all these things are. So those are my key, my two main points regarding my application. But in general, I'm just super committed and excited about advancing the Telcoin ecosystem, and I'd be honored to have the stakers vote. But like I said, it's been great to hear everyone today, and I know we're in good hands no matter how the elections turn out. So I really hope we can reach the quorum. That's, I think, the most important point. And I think over the next 7 days, I think everyone, and until the deadline for delegation tomorrow, I think the important thing is we all spread awareness about how to do that and get us across the finish line with the 20%. So I appreciate your time, guys. I'll yield back.
Amazing. Thank you so much, Ryan. And genuinely, again, good luck to all the candidates. I look forward to working with you all. So whoever does get through, we will be working quite closely together. So yeah, I am looking forward to it. Again, please, if there are any questions on any of the voting procedures or how-tos, please let us know, or please ask in the chat and we can run through it. We're posting out all the different aspects of how-to guides and everything like that. Every single council member has been on this. So yeah, if there are any questions, please do let us know. So moving on then, I believe we've got the TIP from the media and marketing campaign to support Telcoin ecosystem awareness. I believe, do we have Steve Owen?
I don't think I've seen him in the audience today.
Okay, no worries. Did you want to take this, Grant, or shall I? It's entirely up to.
Yeah, please. I think I'd love for you to get it kicked off for us, Adam.
Okay, no worries. So the TIP forum has seen some action this week. So the Crypto Steve-O's TIP entitled kind of media and marketing campaign to support the Telcoin ecosystem awareness. So the proposal is essentially a funding request. is aimed at amplifying the awareness of the Telcoin ecosystem through both media and marketing campaigns. It's essentially grounded in decentralization and community engagement. So the key aspect for the proposal, it asks for $40,000 per quarter over the 4 quarters throughout the year, so $160,000 in total. This is to be managed by a multi-signature wallet, which is overseen by the Platform and Treasury Council. The campaign is designed to support basically paid ads on crypto native platforms. So there's with clear call to actions there. Sponsored editorial coverage and explainers about the Telcoin governance and real world use. So more educational content, community bounties and micro grants. So this is for user generated content, short and high quality educational videos, which are released each quarter, and a referral code system, which essentially funnels the rewards back into the association's wallet. So the whole aim of this is to create a self-sustaining marketing budget. So by that, essentially, as Telcoin would say, trade money smarter. So the more you trade and the more you work within the app actually helps go towards the association and the budget for us to then help community initiatives to push further. So we can actually do more with that budget. So it creates just a nice little self-sustaining way of helping and giving back to the community. So the community feedback on this has been very engaged. We had a few key themes emerging. So there were members did voice concerns that proposal budgets may not go far unless we've negotiated them smartly. So for example, banner ads for a month, they can run anywhere from 9 to 15K, depending on the geographical range, whether you're looking worldwide or honing in on certain countries. Sponsored content can also come at a premium as well. So to address this, members suggested partnerships with media agencies where we can work with bulk pricing, even offered. So I've worked with different companies as well to secure organic media coverage, which we can do that for genuine newsworthy updates. If it is any sponsored content, these naturally do come at a cost. So with that, content creation could also be streamlined. So we can do whether it's Telcoin Association updates, streamlined using AI with human oversight, and then it opens up to contributors as well. So emphasizing essentially the importance of community insight and community feedback and the importance of approval processes. This basically ensures consistency, compliance, and just an engaged community as a whole. So the referral aspect of this system was very well received. Members suggesting we could embed it into every campaign asset, whether it's press releases, videos, and again, creates a growing pot of rewards that we can reinvest into community-led initiatives, tournaments, bounties, whatever you say. We've got a forum here to, if you've got an idea, pitch it to us. We are more than happy to listen and understand. It's the whole point of the association is a community and vocal aspect. So sometimes we don't have the best ideas in the sense of we may think of a way of doing something and the community member may come up and go, actually, if we do it this way, this could work. And that's the beauty of this association. It's about transparency. So there are some discussions we also explored for longer term ideas. So this could be, for example, applying for a GSMA membership, running validator nodes under the association. This would require rule changes, and the validators are actually currently limited to MNOs. So the overall sentiment is very positive. It's got strong alignment around community involvement, sustainability, and smart spending. So the proposal aims to tell Telcoin's story, essentially bring in new developers and users, and lay the foundation for ongoing visibility. So I would like to open this up to anyone in the community or within the council to ask any questions or provide any points of discussion on this.
Yeah, I think I'd like to share a thought or two. First of all, I think that the idea to fund some of the community engagement and getting that out there with more videos, more educational content that's sort of like secondary marketing in nature. I think that's a fantastic idea, especially with Telcoin Network coming online very soon. So with Telcoin Network specifically, one of the biggest things that we should be focused on as a community is generating volume and transactions, because those base fees are ultimately what goes back to supporting security and the block rewards for the validator set. As far as the referral driven revenue model, I haven't fully wrapped my head around that, but I don't have anything to add there. But I will continue to think about that. And second point that that was kind of brought up, that was the essentially a node-based fee generation idea, specifically Telcoin Association managing nodes. And just a couple thoughts that I wanted to share with the community, because I've seen it discussed a few spots. So the governance currently outlines that GSMA industry members hold the exclusive right to validate blocks on Telcoin Network. And that industry membership is a bit of it's the main membership level, the highest membership level for what you might also call like a full member in the GSMA. These are companies that run GSM technology, and you can think of them as the mobile network operators. But there are additional memberships within the GSMA, such as Rapporteur membership, and specifically the one of interest might be sector membership. And the sector membership is sort of a broad category for members, and there's different tiers based on reported annual turnover figures. And based on those annual turnover figures, the annual contribution based in pounds is set for those membership levels. And so, just because Telcoin Association doesn't actually operate GSM technology doesn't mean that they could not be members of the GSMA. It's just that they would be a different type of member within the association. But I think it's an interesting idea, and I think that's something that I'm definitely interested in looking at as well. So one of the concerns I have, or one of the reasons that only full network operators are able to run and validate blocks on Telcoin Network is because of the principle of the hardware limitations that exist with the protocol. And that is basically the network is only going to be as fast as the slowest validator node. So the idea being, you leverage this enterprise level technology, you have a much closer physical connection to the fiber optic networks that they're all committed, they're already connected within, and you can leverage that output to really high levels, something that would not be as feasible to really run necessarily in your basement or something along those lines. And there's a big difference between like a Telcoin network and something like Ethereum, where Ethereum is sacrificed a lot of that scalability for decentralization, maximal decentralization, and so they limit hardware requirements so that any user with like a modern laptop even could, in theory, run an Ethereum node. Telcoin Network, at the cost of some decentralization, with a known validator set, that allows us to instead prioritize that scalability and that throughput. So the idea is not decentralized in the sense that we don't have geographical separation or a healthy diversity of nodes on the network. It's rather really the anonymity of being a node on the network. So with that, I think that there is a really interesting opportunity here, though, to sort of engage with users and invite them to participate more in the Telcoin network side of things. And I think one of the ideas that the core protocol team has kind of come back to and kind of looking at seriously is potentially using a delegated proof of stake system. So currently, the idea for Telcoin Network is to use proof of stake, where a validator would stake on their own behalf, and that wallet would then be signing keys to operate as the node, and the proof of stake would be of slashing behaviors, for malicious behaviors, etc. But on a delegated proof of stake, you have basically community funded stake, and part of that agreement depends on that node, how they want to distribute those rewards. And I think a lot of that has to do with the actual individual node that's running. It also has to do with the sort of governance that we have in place. And so it's a very interesting idea, just the subtle change from proof of stake to delegated proof of stake. And so it's definitely on the radar, something that we're thinking about. I don't have concrete answers today, but I think from this particular proposal, there's definitely there's interest there. So as far as food for thought is a great idea. I'm glad the community brought this up, because this is something that we're exploring. And the final thought I have about that is that in the early stages of Telcoin Network, I think it's important that the association run at least a few nodes to ensure reliability. Whether that is a long-term thing or not, I believe in the short term, that's quite essential for not only the reliability of the network and the security, but especially as these mobile network operators, in order to really bring them on board. We need to be able to say, like, hey, this is a good thing. We know, we're confident in our product, and that you want to participate in this network. But if you don't want to, you can leave. And ultimately, that would be okay, because we have enough enough nodes on the network that it won't be an issue for us. Whereas if we kind of tie our hands behind our back and we have only the 20 nodes, and then 10 of them leave, now we're down to 10. And if that's our committee size, then we just have a one committee again. So there's I guess I will stop there. So delegated proof of stake is something that I would definitely be looking at seriously in the coming weeks here. So thank you,
No, I really do appreciate
Steve, for your proposal. Yeah, go ahead.
No, thank you. I really do appreciate that, because just the expertise and insight from your side is truly appreciated. We've had Rosie in the chat as well saying we'd love to hear more council member based and hosted workshops explaining tech behind Telcoin. So more of an educational help show to the community why it's different and unique. There are so many questions asking why we're different and what stands out. So it'd be great to hear the experts kind of teach the community, host and post videos live on X. And that's really great insight. So that would be definitely something that we could look into.
Yeah, great suggestion. I think that's a great idea. Thank you.
I agree. I think, just overall, more sessions like that are designed to service the community in terms of learning about specific things, whether that be the network's technology or the, TEL token, or the governance system and the machinations of these things. Yeah, sounds like a great idea. I didn't want to dilute the current conversation, but I wanted to touch base on the TIP that was proposed related to marketing. Is that, am I out of scope at the moment on chiming in on that, or?
No, please feel free.
So I think that, basically, we're the association and the councils, we're the brains, right? So we think about things, come up with ideas to realize shared aspirations and visions, and then we ultimately, through the TAO, which is separate from the TA, right? But it's wholly owned. We go out and we implement what the association has determined in these types of different processes. And so the TAO, it has pretty, I would say, relatively actually limited resources for sure, in terms of the various specialties that we as an association are going to need over time. And so this entity, it's this TAO, it really is designed, like, even the sort of Telcoin holdings team that is working on the Telcoin network, that's through a contractual relationship between the between the TAO and Telcoin holdings. And the TAO is really set up, the Telcoin Autonomous Hub is set up to to contract with external agencies and companies who are specialists in certain areas that we're not. And if you don't do that, right, and let's say you had the requirement that all the council members needed to actually go out and not only create and envision and improve the proposals, but they had to implement them, right? If that was like a prerequisite for implementing it, it would turn us into a technocratic system. And what I mean by that is that we only the people who are capable of doing things would be able to make decisions about them. And instead of the better alternative, which is a democracy of ideas determining what we want as an association and then ultimately having them carried out by external parties. And so we've set up this TAO to enable the association to complete things, and its primary intention is to contract externally with providers. So I want to provide that context first. And so my view is that we should have development, we should have every type of agency you can think of that we want to fulfill things for, or specialist consultant firm, whatever you want to call them. We want to have those folks come in, pitch to us and tell us, share with them what we want, pitch to them about why, and then have them pitch to us on our terms about whether or not they're good. So I think it's great that we come up with this marketing proposal, and that I'd be fully in support of it. But I think that it's probably a more effective, both cost-effective time-wise and just overall in terms of getting things done and implementing them. I think the best case is that we say, here's the kind of thing we're thinking about with this TIP proposal, but we want to bring on a marketing agency, right? And we share it with all the marketing agencies, and then they can come in and propose why they should be our agency to do these things for us. And based on my experience working with agencies in the space in that area, I think it would be much more cost effective than this proposal, and also just kind of more in line with what I think is the best way for us to operate, which is to go seek the best specialists in the world to do things for us on our behalf. So this is a very long roundabout way of saying, I think we should hit up a bunch of marketing agencies, show them what we want, have them come on this call, pitch to us why they should be our partner, and then pick the best one and go with them and let them do things. What do you guys think about that? Am I making sense?
Yeah, so no, does make absolute sense.
Could I jump in there? I got a question there.
Okay.
I guess the question that I see from the community is, why hasn't that happened already? You know what I mean? I love what you're saying there, Parker, but people are saying to me, why isn't Telcoin already marketing? Why aren't they already pushing this stuff? And so I think they're really excited to see this proposal, that it might actually move things forward a bit more.
Yeah. I mean, the reason that we haven't is because we haven't put forward this proposal to do it, right? So we're sort of, we're a collective communal group that makes decisions and proposes ideas, and the answer is that for the Telcoin Association, which Arie, did a great job, I think, of making clear that there's a distinction from an entity perspective. Telcoin Holdings company. We're one member of the association, right? The Telcoin Association, this group here, we're the councils we're effectively sort of like a board that decides things. They're separate. So as far as the marketing for Telcoin, that's a different discussion. But as far as the marketing for, hitting Telcoin Association, Telcoin Network, and TEL across all of our target markets, which are basically the entire value chain for blockchain, that's why all the miners are set, the validators, so GSMA MNOs, which, there's a lot of exciting progress on that, and that I think we'll probably get into in a few weeks here. But there's that, and then there's developers, like Arie was talking about. There's actual users who want to use this stuff. There's liquidity miners, and so we want to target all of those. And I think working with an agency to do it, they're just better. They're better than I am at it. They're probably, it's their job, right? And the thing is that it's all, if we work with a consultant, then we get to over time monitor them and have them do it. But and figure out if they're a good fit for us, and just continuously sort of say, whether or not they're a good fit and if we need to go with someone else. But we have them. We'd be able to have them working for us to do this. And so, yeah, I mean, basically what I'm saying is we need to get the marketing going, and let's bring in the big guns.
Okay, so just if I can jump in on that then as well.
Yeah.
So I know Telcoin themselves work with a marketing agency. Are you able to introduce on that side and get them to pitch for the Telcoin Association? And then secondary, there is one that I've brought forward that are pitching to us. Just clarify, we're not under NDA on that. So they would be another potential. But yeah, I'm more than happy to introduce a couple there, because I know a few of the different agencies to introduce, and it'd be great to have kind of a round table of them.
Yeah, so there is an agency that we work with, and we started working with them late last year, and I really am impressed with them across the board. It's been more in a PR capacity than it's been in a marketing agency capacity, but they are crypto native, and so there's that firm. There's the firm you mentioned. There's just a number of firms that I've met over the years at conferences and just in over the old watering hole at various areas. And so I think there's a ton of agencies that would love our business. We're financially equipped to be a great customer. We have a massive target market. We have a really exciting brand, and we're legit, right? We're a legitimately legal entity that can actually contract with them relative to any crypto network that doesn't have an association model with a contracting agency under it. Like, they just don't really have the capabilities that we do to work with actual companies. So yeah, I mean, I think I could probably round up at least two really solid agencies that want our business at the Telcoin Association. And so yeah, like I think that's the move, and I'm sure that the whole community knows plenty of them. I bet you there's community members that have been kind of looking for this opportunity to work with Telcoin. And so yeah, the answer is yes. I've got a couple. I'll if we do a request for people to come in and present to us, then I'll absolutely have them in. And I think we should just sort of round them up, and have them pitch to us. Tell us why we should work with them, get the madmen of the world in here.
Yeah, no, that's perfect.
Completely agree.
Just another aspect of that then, naturally bringing in an agency, we would need to leverage further budget to cover that side then. Would that be optional to essentially approach Telcoin Holdings there to gain that? Because I don't believe we've attributed a certain amount to that currently.
Yeah, I mean, we can figure out, it wouldn't be a Telcoin Holdings sort of expenditure, and I think we would want to, instead of that, do our allocate to it from a bucket across the available supply that we have to allocate, versus going there. That would be much more sort of complicated and sort of not the Telcoin Holdings contracts with the TAO to provide technological support and administrative legal support right now, but to be at the marketing, it'd be a double contracting thing in there. And so I don't think that makes sense, but I think we can certainly figure out how to finance it within the existing stock of TEL tokens that we have under our governance.
Okay.
I don't think it's as expensive as people think either. It's at least the numbers that I've seen from these agencies, I was pleasantly surprised at how much it costs. Maybe a fifth of what I see on this. But once again, it's not my area, right? I'm not a professional marketing person, and so, but let's get them in.
Okay, perfect. I believe next on the agenda then is Parker. I believe, are you happy to speak?
I'm happy to speak about anything.
So, statement. So it was about the circulating supply aspect. that's happened recently.
Right. And it just so happened that it was on like April Fools and all that. And yeah, I saw that. And so basically, as everyone who voted on and read TGIP1 has been pretty active within the association, really knows that, there's the association governs the store of TEL tokens that are used that will be emitted for the various miners to harvest from the platform, and then there's Telcoin Holdings, which has its own treasury of tokens that it owns that most recently moved because of from the perspective of concentration risk. We moved the Genesis wallet to a separate wallet, two separate set of wallets. So there was treasury operations that happened earlier this week within Telcoin Holdings from the Genesis wallet that's not under the association's governance and management. That Coin Market Cap, who we have hit up so many times with the proper information, just refuses to change. Like it's a very, I don't know. It's very hard to get them to do the proper numbers. They tell us that they have their own formula for things, but we're like, this is there's the here's the TEL, and that's the uncirculated supply, and then here's the rest of the supply, which is everything else, right? So that's so the circulating supply on CoinMarketCap is just simply wrong, and I know that within the past month, we've hit them up with the exact precise country wallet addresses and everything to do, and it's always been a strange sort of back and forth. Not to just throw them under the bus, I'm sure they're nice people, but they simply don't listen and work with us to get the right numbers in place. And I can't tell you why they have not. But yeah, so that's, it's an error on their site. And, there's the TEL Treasury and then all of the council safes, to me, that's the uncirculated supply, and everything else is circulating supply that's held as property by individuals relative to the other one, which is owned, shared by the community to govern and allocate for future circulation. So I know it was a really long-winded answer, but it was a sort of a strange thing that happened with the way that they're measuring our token.
Yeah, and just from an implementation perspective too, it's you have this decentralized treasuries, you have this the association and all the councils and everything, and these companies that are tracking circulating supply. It's a lot easier to just pin it on one wallet, and that has been there forever, instead of tracking the growing number of treasuries and uncirculated but responsibly separated TEL. So it is well, yeah. I could imagine it being very difficult for a single company tracking all of these other entities and all of their treasury wallets as well. It's going to be more challenging to track lots of wallets versus just the one. So that's
Yeah, for sure. And speaking of what, do you mind if I change the subject into a similar note?
Please do.
Yeah.
So, basically, one thing I noticed, I don't know if anyone else here is a Trading View user. It's the most well-known and used, sort of charting software in the world, and I know that just like ton of crypto people use it, and that's in a lot of ways that's where they get their news. And I found it really bizarre that all of these, there's so many of these crypto assets on there, that their news, there's just a constant stream of news that shows up, and TEL doesn't have any, and I just simply cannot figure out why, or what we need to do to figure that out. So, that's, once again, that's like a crypto native marketing agency is going to know the answer to that question, right? But it's just something where I'm like, There's plenty of news coming out down the pike about Telcoin all the time. Why is there nothing on there? So I don't know if anyone has an answer, but yeah, the marketing agency.
That is, I'm not sure myself. If anyone in the community has ideas or insight into that, be happy to hear from you. Cool. Well, I appreciate you addressing that some more, Parker. And yeah, there's definitely a lot of community interest in sort of that, the circulating supply, et cetera. So yeah, I think it kind of goes full circle with just more educational content and how the system's set up, the platform, the technical specs, what sets us apart. I think kind of seeing more and more the how relevant and helpful that would be. So I think as far as the agenda topics go, we've kind of covered everything for today that I have on the list here. But we do like to leave these meetings with time at the end to answer any community questions, or if there's any additional topics that the council would like to bring up. Nominees, you're free to speak as well, and the audience in attendance. So give some time to questions and answers now. Company one proposal updates. So yes, that is moved forward. I don't. Let's see. Adam, just because I'm a little bit unfamiliar with what I can and can't say, the company one proposal updates. Would you care to address that at all?
Yeah, so naturally, the company one proposal that we know that passed. We cannot I cannot say much on this. All I can say is you have to wait until the exchange in question messages and puts it out there, and then I can scream it from the rooftops. So until that happens, I am very limited on what can be said. In terms of what already has been said, this is a global company. They've got reach in over 170 geos. So there is a lot that can be. We're strategically negotiated it to base it on all the key areas that we have been essentially missing from, in the sense of like KuCoin kind of closing down on certain aspects and other exchanges. So I'm sure when this is announced, people will be happy. But I am very limited on what can be said at the moment.
Yeah.
So I'm really sorry I cannot say any more.
Yeah, the ball's in their court now, so it's it's up to them now. So.
Yeah, great effort on all that, Adam. I mean, it's like really, it's wonderful to see the work that you've done, and all of the efforts that have gone into it. It's not an easy thing to do it all, and it takes time and a lot of follow up. And yeah, we just really appreciate all the work you're doing, man.
No, thank you.
I have a quick thing I could add.
Great. Yeah, Marcus, please take the floor.
Yeah, so I mean, I know we're close to time, so I'm not going to spend very long, but I have some good updates for Telcoin network bridging that I will slate for the next week's meeting. And by then, I plan to have like a series of forum posts, as well as readable documentation that spans the technical and the non-technical for our progress on bridging. So look forward to that next week.
Awesome. Ended on a high note. I love it. Yeah, this exciting stuff. Yeah, I believe we've gotten through all our questions and agenda items for today. So yeah, I think let's end it on the high note then. Marcus, thanks for sharing. I appreciate that. And everybody, thank you for your time. Nominees, best of luck in the election. We wish you all the best, and we appreciate you coming up here and introducing yourselves and sharing it. I think, as was mentioned, you know, we've got some great applicants, and I think no matter how the election turns out, as long as we reach quorum, I think it'll be a good thing. So, thank you for your time and energy. We look forward to having you on the council with us. At this time, I think we can go ahead and call it. If there are any additional questions pop up, hit us up in the Discord chat. Thanks, everybody.
Thanks, everyone. Good job, candidates. You crushed it.
Good luck. See you.